What's up, everybody? Brandon with Strict Vision Athletics here with another product review. So today, you guys, I'm going to be reviewing the Grip Bell. So this is a very unique and honestly, just very special design for a dumbbell. Essentially, what these guys have made is a multi-use, multi-grip dumbbell with a variety of different movement patterns that you can do, grabbing it in different ways. Now, with this piece of equipment, I have found an interesting variety of different exercises that you can implement with these that you can't do with dumbbells. The first thing I would say is that these having this big, wide external grip on the outside of the dumbbell as opposed to being just in the center allows you to do a lot of off-weight exercises. So if I want to do curls, for example, and I want to stand and I want to curl this up with the weight pulling on the outside far away proximally from my arm, it's going to create a tougher resistance on my wrist and forearm just to keep the weight straight. It's a similar concept to kettlebells. So if I do this with a kettlebell, the kettlebell head will be over here, the handle will of course be in my hand, all the weight is pulling me one direction. So that's a similar feel to this as well that I found. The second really cool adaptation I have found for these is bands. So because these have two ears on either side, I can hook bands to these and I can do like standing military press or lateral raises or a lot of different stuff where if I wanted to do that with a dumbbell, it would be a lot tougher to wrap that band around the inside and it would get caught on my hand. This allows you to do that. That's probably the coolest iteration that I have used these for is band weighted exercises. And I'll get more into that in just a second. But I want to go through our categories for this thing. So as you guys know, we do our product reviews based on price, usage, footprint, and customer service. So those are the categories we generally judge all of our equipment by. So let's start with price. So these guys, they're not what I would consider cheap. They are about $100 for a pair of 5s, and they go all the way up to $130 for a pair of 12s. So that's going to be for the set. So if you were to buy the full line, you'd be at about $600, somewhere around there. So again, it's cheaper than getting dumbbells, but obviously you're going 5 through 12. So you're paying for a specialty item that it's an expense. It's an expense, it's not crazy, but it's not what I would consider to be cheap either. So for that, I'm going to give the price of category a score of 5. So that's kind of right in the middle. Not really all that amazing, but not really all that astronomically high either. So right in the middle. Next, let's talk about usage. Now, usage is where anytime that we do a review where I see something that I find to be a daunting problem, I always try to present it in a very constructive manner. And I always want to give the manufacturers kind of, constructive criticism on what it is they should be doing. My problem with the usage of this is not so much the design and the make of this, but the weights of this. If you go on their website, the maximum weight you can buy right now is 12 pounds. Now, I have seen these in other gyms offered at higher weights. Perhaps that is something that they discontinued and no longer manufacture. I don't know. But these being maxed out at 12 pounds dramatically cuts down the usage on these things. I mean, you're talking 2/3 of the demographics of people who are training will not use this just because it's so light. If I want to do dumbbell exercises, well, okay, if 12s is all I can do, what kind of exercises am I limited to? So for that reason, I have found that in order to make these effective in the gym at a high level or even at an intermediate level, bands are kind of a must. You need to use bands, wrap them around here, and then go through whatever movement patterns you were going to do and hope the bands are going to provide the resistance that this 12-pound thing will not. So that is by far the biggest critique I would give of this from what I have seen on their website, what they're offering, and what I was sent. This is just not enough. It's not enough to offer your products to a wide array of different people. You're going to be looking at PT and recovery clinics, senior citizen populations, and people who are doing perhaps accessory work or some kind of stability exercise. Like I mentioned, if you do hold it on the very end, the weight does pull you. So if you are using a 12-pounder in that way, you might get some resistance as an intermediate or certainly as an advanced lifter. You would have difficulty doing it to the degree you need the resistance otherwise. Sorry if that didn't really make a lot of sense there at the end, but To sum up, the usage score is going to be a 2. It's just not really all that applicable. You really cannot do that much with this. And if I'm going to spend $500-$600 on this line, I need to know, okay, why in the world am I buying 5 through 12? No, I am a proficient lifter. I need to buy 20 through 50. Or 40 through 80, something to where I know I can at least use these like I would have used dumbbells if I'm going to be putting these in my gym. And that's the other thing to address. If these are actually going to be bigger and be shaped like dumbbells, you're going to need to somehow figure out a rack situation. I don't know how I would rack these if these did weigh the proper amounts that they needed to weigh in order for me to do my functional movement patterns in the gym. So this would require some kind of a specialty rack as well, something to also consider as far as the company is concerned. If you guys have a specialty rack, please send it our way and we'll include it in the description. And as far as the score goes, if you guys do offer a bigger selection of this material, maybe, I don't know why you would do this, but if you had a separate website somewhere else where it's offered, please send that to me and then we'll include that in the link on the description. And ultimately, if that is the case, I would change this score because 2 is not high. That's a low usage score. Footprint, again, I am judging this number based on what I've been given. And what I've been given is 5 through 12. So for that, the footprint is quite easy. These don't need a specialty rack. These only weigh 5, 8, 10 pounds. So I can stack them up, put them in a corner, and use them if I wanted to, in any capacity here in the gym. So for that reason, I give this a 7. It's a good. That's the highest score for this product. It can be put anywhere. If this is their full line, like it's advertised on their website, then the footprint of this is quite easy. The problem is the trade-off between what will ultimately be the footprint or the usage. In order to get the usage up, the footprint will go down because these would require some kind of a storage rack. Otherwise, you'd have these big, thick grip bells just lining the floor of your gym, and you'd have to figure out a place to put them. So that being said, footprint as this stands is a 7, which brings to the last category, which is a customer service. As you guys who follow us know, if we have a problem or some kind of a customer service dilemma where there's no email communication, or maybe they don't fulfill an order we placed, or we have a problem they can't address, that score will drop below a 5. And if there is some problem that we hit immediately that somehow they go out of their way to remedy, or they do something that goes above and beyond, it goes above a 5. For most of the time when we interact with these companies, 5 is the score they can expect unless one of those two things happens. So for this, 5. 5 is the score for customer service as well. These came on time. They were kind enough to send us their full line. We haven't had any problems with them. As far as the quality of the actual equipment itself, they're perfectly fine. They're this dense rubberized coating along what I would only assume is a steel interior. And so 5 for the customer service. The average score of this is a 4.75. The usage score really kills it. It really is. Without that, if this was a different circumstance, it would be a much higher score. But that is what I'm going to give to the Grip Bell. To sum up, in my opinion, your money is probably best served buying actual dumbbells, or if you have $600 to spend on something, buy kettlebells. Buy a used line of kettlebells even. If you got kettlebells that were used and you had $600, you could probably get a 20, a 30, a 40, maybe even a 50, all in like new material quality, and you would have that in your gym, and that would be a lot of different movement patterns that you could do with weights that would at least challenge you beyond having to rig these up with bands and make this somehow work for you. So guys, that's it for the Grip Bell. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, if you have a problem with this score, if there's another piece of equipment you would like to see us judge, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.